Let's talk about STEM first, because you've been
Mm,
involved in a lot of different initiatives around this area.
yeah.
Um, I mean, what has 2020 done to those initiatives? Has it hampered them? Is there enough being done to encourage women into tech and into STEM subjects in school? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, look, I think 2020 there was big plans for events, for companies having events, for us ourselves. We had planned events around women in technology. And due to that, anything that was connected to events, even outside of STEM, had kind of took a bit of a hit. And then there was, figuring out ways of obviously doing these online, which has been fantastic.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of, events that have been happening around STEM, around these kind of women in technology events, women in science, that's very much, they've adapted and brought them to the online world. But it's definitely, went to a bit of a standstill as well. That's been my experience. And the only reason for that was I don't like to say other things became a priority, but some companies panicked, people panicked,
Yeah.
and it came down to, okay, putting out fires. It came down to prioritizing. It came down to, look, we'll come back to this, but let's just figure out the best ways of making all of this work, making this situation work. So it did take a little bit of a hit, and the plans for 2020 really, really kind of were hampered, and definitely didn't go to plan. But what I have seen as the summer towards the end of this year happen is a lot of social media, a lot of different blogs, a lot of different companies coming up with different ways to highlight around STEM and how to hire and how to attract talent, coming to companies like ourselves, recruitment agencies, finding out what other companies are doing.
Yeah.
How do we hire? How do we become more diverse? How do we really put a focus on that? So companies are still eager. Companies are still wanting to really kind of balance out those teams and hire and attract more women within this world, and being more diverse. So it's still there, but it definitely hit a bit of a standstill. Now for 2021, we're going to see a massive, massive focus on this. We're going to see all the events that didn't, that took a hit, all of the events that couldn't happen, finding new ways of being able to do them, doing different meetups online, doing different Microsoft Teams calls, Zoom calls online, and finding different ways of doing it. Videos like this, interviews like this with women in technology. So I think the plans for 2021 will be massive in that sense. But it did hit a bit of a wall, I believe, in 2020, like a lot of different things did.